side streets, driving on back roads. A change of scene won't delete what I already know. Crash course never sounded so good, carving my tree of life into a piece of wood. But in the end, is it for the better? Stripping away what's weathered in age to write a love letter in the fields of love. What are you growing? And in the land of knowing, where you going? And planting seeds won't keep out the weeds. Hooves and wings keep the peace. Birds won't sing and the birds don't ride. Bus won't see and the kids don't drive. All that is made rises the tide. So when it's your wave, how will you ride? Fields of love provide us what we need, and land we know is all that we see. So let's hold true to what we know is right and wrong, and grow what will make us strong in the fields of love. What are you growing? And in the land of knowing, where you going? In the fields of love, what are you growing? And in the land of knowing, where are you going?
Right. Evan and Alec Williams. We're here raising Pastures Band out in this beautiful piece of land you guys have out here. Wow. Thank you. Yeah.
Of course. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah. So tell us about the two songs we just performed.
So the two songs we performed, they were Fields of Love, which is just a song about kind of actually settling down and homesteading, as well as it's all like a metaphor for just kind of how you live your life.
Mm-hmm.
As I kind of started to develop my having a couple homesteads, I've started to realize the parallels that lie between traveling, settling down, and just living in general. So that's kind of what that first song is about, Fields of Love. And then the second song is If I Wrote You a Song, which is really about, I wrote it during a time when I had some significant kind of writer's block. I hadn't written a song in a long time.
Yeah.
And then I just felt like that's my way of communicating with the world and with people. So I felt like I wasn't able to communicate or like express myself the way I was. And that song just kind of came out of that feeling.
Yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah.
You guys have moved around quite a bit. Alec was telling me a little bit about it earlier. How has that inspired your overall songwriting, I guess, genre or experience, that kind of thing?
Yeah. And it's driven all of the experiences essentially that I write about, or mainly about come from being on the road, or at least related to being on the road, or I've even written a few songs that are actually not stories of my own, but common stories I hear from people when I'm traveling on the road. I'll hear the same stories from different people, and I just kind of finding the common ground between different people that live in different places and that are in different places in their life has really helped me immensely for writing my songs.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Kind of like everyone kind of goes through the same experiences, even when they think they're so alone through something. They go through the same thing. They just don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's actually a big thing I was focusing while I was writing these songs. I was focusing a lot on, I had this realization that we all have different experiences in life.
Mm-hmm.
So we all can have vastly different experiences in life. Like, I have this beautiful property here and most people don't, but ultimately at the end of the day, even if we have different experiences and our lives look very different on the outside, the feelings that we feel going through our lives aren't really that different.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of these songs came from, was using my experiences and other people's experiences that I know of, and connecting that to the common feeling that we all feel throughout our life. So touching more in on the feeling that is associated with my experience than the actual experience itself.
Yeah. Wow. That's very deep.
I guess it is.
Yeah, wow. All right, tell us a little bit about the album that you guys are recording and the plans to get that out to the public.
Yeah, so we're working on recording an album right now. It's at a place called DBU Ranch Recorders with the guy Dusk Bennett. And we're working on recording. It's our first debut studio album. And I'm not sure exactly how many songs we'll end up with, somewhere between 9 and 11.
Okay.
And it'll be entitled "What Are You Growing?" And it's kind of like what I was just speaking about with you. That's kind of the ultimate message of the song of the album is just our common ground that we have, and whether you're growing food and avocados on a ranch, or you're growing happiness, or you're growing your intelligence, or you're growing your overall experience traveling, we're all growing something, and we choose what we want to grow in our life. And that's kind of the overall message of the album.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so we're going to start releasing that with a group of singles that'll start coming out this spring. And then once all the singles are out, then we'll release the album. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you have a release date or month for the first single?
Not yet. Right now we're thinking probably end of May. But that's pretty loose.
Yeah.
As of the moment. Yeah.
That's
But
very
I would
exciting.
say we should be able to get it by the end of May.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Awesome. That's very exciting.
If I wrote you a song, would you stop and listen, or would you just walk on? I don't have much to say, hey, but what I do, I play along with guitar. shines, the clock unwinds. What's yours is mine, and all we have is time. So if I wrote you a song, would you stop and listen, or would you just walk on? These days I can't find the words, tell me what I wanna do. These days I can't find the words, say how much I love you. But if I wrote you a song, would you stop and listen, or would you just walk on? I don't have much to say, hey, but what do I play along with guitar?
Tell us about how you guys got started as musicians and as band members and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so I started writing songs. I got my first guitar when I was 10, but I started writing my own songs when I was like 15. And it started out really experimental and just kind of different, and I've kind of honed in my writing style ever since then. And then Alec got involved.
Yeah, and then I started playing bass about 8 years ago with the hopes of being able to collaborate with Evan and maybe make an album one day. And yeah, now here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's finally lined up. It's taken a while of traveling all over the country and being in a bunch of different places and just never quite lining up. And then this time it was pretty much perfect. So the songs written and everything behind it just totally fit together. Yeah.
Nice. Did you guys write your music while you were on the road, or did you come up with the ideas while you were out there, and then once you settled down a little bit, you started writing again?
Mixture of both, for sure. So this first album being like the debut album, I've released other stuff in the past, just like solo work. But there's been songs that I've saved. So there's a song on here that's 6 years old. There's a couple of songs on here there's a song on here that's 5 years old and one that's like 2 years old. But then the vast majority of the songs I wrote within the last few months after getting back, and just kind of, I got into a really good routine of writing. I've actually gotten into a routine of writing a song every day. So I was able to kind of really like hone my skill at that and synthesize all of the different information and experiences that I've had over the course of the past few years.
How often do you guys get out and play here? Do you mainly stay in Temecula, or do you go out to Marietta and all the surrounding cities and towns?
Yeah, so we're just kind of starting to play live. We've been focusing more on getting the songs dialed in and getting recording. So we've been doing like open mics. We go to Bailey's and do the open mic. That's how we met you guys. Yeah. In Old Town Temecula, from the Temecula Songwriters Association. So we try to go there like every week. We try to get there. Although sometimes it's been conflicting with our schedules, but we definitely go there as often as we can.
Yeah. That's cool. They have a great community there.
We're always kind of surprised by how much talent there is for, like, you can just have one image of what an open mic could be and the large range of talent that could be there, but everyone that's there is just amazing and just different flavors, but so talented. It's a really cool group of people.
Yeah. I've been to a few different open mics, not here, but there's been some where it's just like 2 or 3 guys, the whole night. It's just the 3 guys playing, and then here there's like 15 people that come. Sometimes some aren't even able to play because there's so many coming to play that night. I think that's very cool that there's such a big community here of musicians. What goals do you guys have in the next 12 to 24 months that you want to accomplish with Raising Pastures?
Yeah, great question. So we'd really like to definitely get our album released and get those singles out. That's kind of a easy goal. We're well on our way there. But we're definitely want to be booking a tour to go up the coast and across the country, ideally be able to really share our music and share our passion for traveling at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Get itchy after settling down for a little bit. We both kind of have a tendency to want to get back out on the road, and so I think, yeah, like you said, that the coast be a place I think both of us haven't been in a while, doing that coast all the way up to Oregon, Washington, and eventually around the country, seeing some places we haven't seen yet and revisit our favorites. And,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of music inspired you two to write the songs you write?
So my inspiration, I can go start a little further back. It's really interesting. Our parents were brothers, and our parents have vastly different musical tastes. Like my dad is really into like 60s folk and rock and roll, and like really into like like poetry, songwriting, like Leonard Cohen, Bob Dylan.
Okay.
And then my mom loves like 80s new wave pop, kind of is
I
like
love
her
it.
jam. Yeah. So we, like, just naturally we kind of have like a synthesis of those two things. I mainly listen to a lot of like 60s, 70s, early 70s rock and roll, Grateful Dead, Bob Dylan's huge inspiration, like late Beatles, like Let It Be album is I've been listening to a lot recently. And
I think that's what I got on my shirt right now.
you do. I noticed that on your way in. And then Alec has some different musical interests too.
Yeah, so I always put it that if we ever like the same artist, Evan generally likes the first album or so, and then I like whatever album is after that one the most. So I like it just like polished a little more, a little more poppy, and he's got a little more of the raw songwriter in him. And so I mean, a lot of my big influences bass wise would be like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Tame Impala is a huge one.
Australian, love it.
Yeah, there you go. But on this one, I think the ones that really came out were kind of the Doors and a little bit of the Beatles, and then Grateful Dead for a song or two that just like kind of where our tastes did kind of overlap, and I would hear, and there were quite a few of these songs where it was only once or twice playing through before it was kind of like, oh, I hear where that's going. And so I think another thing with just this being the album, the time we really recorded, was just everything fell together so easily. With there's been times where we play together and it's because I don't quite know where I'm supposed to go with you, where you're doing that and all that, and so we can have very different tastes at times, and on this one it just absolutely lined up.
We appreciate you guys having us out here, letting us do this for you. This is the first time we've been able to venture out of the studio. So just let everybody at home and watching know where they can find you. So,
yeah, of course. Thanks for coming out here and making the trek. It's awesome having you guys. And you can find us on Instagram at Raising Pasture, and raisingpasture.com. Also on YouTube, Raising Pasture. We'll be adding more and more stuff on there as time goes on. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Cool.
you.
Thank you. You're welcome.